Welcome to the Sandersonian Institute of Cosmere Studies, where there's always another secret.
Welcome back, Sixers, to another episode of the Sandersonian Institute of Cosmere Studies. This is episode 134. Today is April 24th, 2023. I am Bill, and I am joined, as always, by my Doodlebug co-hosts, Amy and Jordan.
Hello.
Welcome, my friends.
I keep thinking one of these days you're going to run out of words, and then you don't.
That's one of the things I learned in college. Words, there's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a whole lot of, they got books filled with them.
Yeah.
Books for days?
Books for days.
Pages and pages and pages and pages. As fun as that is. Anyway, before we get started, we do want to remind our listeners that the Sandersonian Institute of Cosmere Studies is not a spoiler-free podcast. Normally, of course, that would mean that if there's something in the Cosmere that you want to avoid spoilers on, then, head over, read those, and come back. But tonight, we are not talking about the Cosmere. Tonight, we're going to continue our discussion from the previous episode, this time focusing on Steve Argyle's magnificent art in Brandon Sanderson's secret project number 2, The Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England. And there were 3 possessive nouns in that sentence, and I find that very odd. Actually 4, because we said tonight's discussion. Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
This is what happens when
next to that the one video game that has Gundam in the title 3 times. I don't know how we're going to top this.
Oh, man.
Or Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
The movie, the game.
Oh, good times. For those of our listeners who listen to the podcast recordings or watch the videos on YouTube after the fact, we do want to remind you, you can actually join and interact with us live via chat as we record each episode at www.twitch.tv/innkeeperstable. We record episodes every other Monday night, starting at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, so please join us and take an active part in the discussion. The Sandersonian Institute of Cosmere Studies is made possible by the support of our listeners and patrons. The show will, of course, continue to be free, but if you want to help us out, head over to patreon.com/Cosmere Studies. Even $1 or $2 per episode is really helpful as we continue to work to improve the show. Patrons get immediate access to our Discord channel, where you can talk about the show and the Cosmere with other listeners. We've got a good community over there. We've got some cool discussions. You also get early access to bonus episodes. You'll get exclusive access to other bonus content and other good stuff. This week, we want to specifically thank our patron, Amanda M., who just upped her pledge. We really appreciate that. So thank you very much. You're awesome.
Can I give a special thanks?
Go for it.
I want to thank everyone who's doing it, because unfortunately, when I did my taxes, I owed some stuff, and getting that check in right before tax season was exactly what I needed. So patrons, thank you for helping me not get audited by the IRS.
Very, very nice. All right, so let's move on to the Cosmere Thing of the Week. So this week's Cosmere Thing of the Week is kind of a hard one to do, particularly if with the audio listeners. We came across a pretty impressive CGI animation of Bridge 4 from The Way of Kings by CGI_Maddie on YouTube. We've got a link specifically to the video in the in our show notes, but let's talk a little bit about what we saw. Like, I think this is pretty cool. It's
it's all CG. It's
very photorealistic.
Yeah, following Kaladin on the bridge run, and it's brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I saw the title of Cosmere Animated Series, I was not expecting realistic 3D.
Yeah. Well, like, honestly, at the very, very beginning, I did think it was real. I just didn't process animated, but
yeah,
like,
you can tell it's animated once you get up close on the faces.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And see some of the motion. Like, there's a little bit of, but it's still pretty good. Pretty impressive.
Yeah. No, I'd say it's about PS4 graphics.
Yeah. I'd give it PS4.
And it's like I would watch this. Like it's not, this isn't Reboot.
Well, it's kind of like a hybrid between what people have talked about is, do we want a live action? Do we want animated? I'm like, I mean, this kind of removes a little bit of the issues with a live action series because you don't have to worry about sets and stuff like that. But
yeah. I mean, you could even do it as like motion capture, like they've done with some of the more recent movies and things like that. So you have real actors, but then you just like add the effects after and the backgrounds and all those other things.
Yeah, I still wonder if you do it realistic and we see things like, people who sort of look Islander but with red hair and stuff, that or something about that to our brains would just be like, I can't figure that out. But the very minimum, it would solve the biggest issue, which I don't know how you get the biology of this world and the spren of this world to look correct in live action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would be tough. It would take a lot of tweaks
because the spren have to be everywhere.
For it to work, you'd have to have like an Avatar level budget.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
but
it's
expensive.
It's really good.
It's definitely worth checking out. That's again CGI apostrophe. I think it was MATI. Is that right?
Yes, MATI.
Yeah. They only have 119 subscribers.
That's ridiculous. I'm guessing
subscribe right now.
I'm guessing after posting this, they'll get a few more. But
I can help you.
But
yeah, this is professional level.
Very, very, very well done. All right, well, let's move on to the Sanderson news, which is, of course, a week old because Brandon now puts out his videos on Tuesdays. And so we're trying to make it as long as possible between when he announces it and when we give it to you because we're just that on top of things.
So on top of things.
So Stormlight 5 hit 39% a week ago. And Skyward Legacy is at 15%. So those are, just chugging along, making progress. Brandon said he's aiming for like 2% per week at this point. So hopefully right now he's right around 41%. Maybe. We'll see how prescient I am. One of the cool things is that Tress hit the New York Times and Sunday Times London bestseller lists.
Yep.
Which, when you think about it, that's really cool considering that's not including the Kickstarter.
Yeah, I was about to ask that. Like, would that include
this is outside of those?
No, this is outside of the Kickstarter. So
I can see why, though. Like, Tress definitely, I think, has a broader appeal than I think a lot of his books.
Well, I bought a Tor copy myself.
Oh, okay.
And I think there are probably a lot of people like you, Bill, who bought another copy.
Right. And the reason I did that is one, I have a problem and I'm a collector and so I put my my deluxe copy up with the leather bounds and then with the rest of the books I put Tress. But also if I loan this book to somebody, I don't want to loan my
I was literally about to ask, is this your lending copy?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like that was one of the reasons I got it.
You don't have a problem, Bill. You're a supplier. And I'm the evidence.
Perhaps. I have gotten a few people hooked in various formats. So let's see. All of the Tress pre-orders should be sent at this point. But they do have, as of this evening at 8:00 Mountain Time, they do still have the deluxe hardcovers on the Dragonsteel website. They were selling them both alone at $55 for just the deluxe version, and then with the ebook and audiobook for $70.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have slept on Tress and want to get in and you missed the Kickstarter when you were really wanting one of those deluxe books, especially after seeing them now, they are available on his website still. So you should definitely check that out. He is trying to speed up the printing of Secret Project number 2 because there have been issues. Hopefully this won't be an issue with 3 and 4 because they got way ahead of it with the new printers and stuff. But this one, they're still kind of playing catch up, I think, from everything that happened the first time. So there aren't any details on that. Chances are there may be details in tomorrow's / yesterday's video if you listen on Wednesday or Monday, depending.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of fun if we could somehow get Kara again and ask her about all this.
I would love to get Kara back on the show. We'll see what we can do. And then the Frugal Wizard bundle is now also available. Of course, you can't get the hardback just yet, but you can pre-order it.
Do we get a free Pocket Universe Dimension with it?
No, but you get a free ebook with it.
Oh.
Also, if you're wanting the Cytoverse box and you didn't do the whole huge bundle thing, like with all of the boxes, you can get those now too. Because I jumped on
Those
that
are
and I got a
available.
box, and it's fun. We played with the card deck, the Go Fish, with the slugs. That was really cute. Tanix. They're not just slugs. They're Tanix.
I really need to. I'm planning to make chocolates with the mold.
Yeah,
like
I need to figure out.
I really want to make truffles with that.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be good.
Nougat filled or something. We'll see. I've never made nougat before.
It's so much
slugs,
work.
are they shuffles? I said if they're slugs, are they shuffles?
They're sluffles.
Oh, that does not sound appealing. No.
What about Snuffle Up a Guy?
That one's less bad because there's already the character. Anyway.
Okay, so let's move into the art of the Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England.
Slideshow?
I wasn't even reading that. I'm proud of myself.
Yeah. I still say handbook.
I say hand guide. I want to say hand guide every time, and it's handbook.
Isn't it handbook?
It's handbook, and I want to say guide or hand guide or something.
So you're right, Jordan. You say it right.
You say it right.
If you say handbook, then you're right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's refresh. There we go. Okay, now it's on the right one. Okay, and for those of you who are audio only, if you hear me struggling, it's because I am having issues and there's no fixing me.
Jordan, you've had issues for years.
As I said, there's no fixing me.
All right, so the first one we're getting is basically the first scene in the book, where so this is how we know what John looks like, because and he looks very different than I actually pictured him.
Yeah, I always picture him with lighter hair, shorter hair.
I kind of pictured him as, because he's a bouncer, and this guy does not have a bouncer look to him. Of course, he does have augments and
all that stuff, yeah.
But he looks like Loki. Yeah. He looks like Tom Hiddleston.
He does a little bit.
I was literally going to say the same thing.
Which is ironic because,
Yeah. Loki works with him, but
Loki's in this book. But
yeah.
The field, like the image of him was much bigger than I thought it would be. The outline of the man.
Yeah, the outline of the burn.
I thought it was going to be closer to like his size.
Yeah, but I wonder if it's like from up or something, and that's why it's so much bigger.
He portaled in and it explodes and just expands like a giant
Talk about making an entrance.
I actually, for some reason, was picturing the image on the side of a rock. I must have misread it or something.
It looks like in this picture, he's a lot closer to the village than he was that I remember him being in the book. Because in the book, he was out in some random field.
And part of this is, of course, Steve Argyle taking.
Oh, yeah. I know. I'm not, but I just trying to remember details.
Yeah. Before the book came out, Brandon was sort of giddy about the art. He was like, I told, Steve to go nuts, and this is what he gave us. And holy cow, he outdid expectations.
It was just more and more and more, and it's great.
The thing that's really cool is there are lots of different styles of art in this book.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
because he jumps between at least 3 different art styles.
Yeah, there's like this one, which is sort of realistic, and then there's like the sketches, and then there's like the doodles, kind of.
Yeah, like the sketches sort of have a D&D 3.5 player's handbook style to them. You got that photorealistic, but it's pencil art or like
sketches
sketch art
kind of, yeah.
And this is a lot more digital and refined and colored in, and then you get the
doodles,
which are freaking adorable.
And it's funny, I didn't realize this, but I actually have dragon eggs that I made that look a lot like theirs. So I was all like, oh, look, I already have some physical art from the book.
But yeah, I like the motion that he's got in this, where he's got some of the pages still floating in the wind and singed and charred.
Mm-hmm. You can even tell what some of the pages are because we have them.
Which is just sort of okay, Steve, you have you've kind of stepped into another realm here. This is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And you literally have stepped. Wow, that wasn't even intentional.
I was about to ask if that was on
really
purpose.
wasn't intentional. I'm sorry.
The other thing about this that when he said he was wearing sort of a tunic with jeans, I still sort of imagined the tunic being a bit longer. And so it really lends itself to how mismatched and rushed he was coming in.
Yeah.
Well, and that kind of does a good job of setting the stage, because he shows up and he's in this mismatched set of clothing. And you're like, okay, something's not normal.
Yeah.
And it gives you that little, but it kind of preps you for things showing up that you don't expect.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Anything else on this one?
Now let's move to the next one.
Fun.
All right, next one is him in the water with Cephawin.
Yep. So clearly Steve is having fun with fire. In these pictures, because we've got the smoldering flames at the previous one, and now the inferno of a Viking longship.
This image seriously looks like a meme template to me.
I know.
Yeah.
How exaggerated John's face though.
Just the downturned, like his
so
mouth is very long.
Let's see if I can get this to catch on.
And Cephawin's just giving him this look of utter disdain. It's kind of great.
So much disdain. Love it.
Which makes sense, because she warned him, and he did exactly what he wasn't supposed to do, and burned down the ship.
Yep. Let alone he can't. She had to help him stand up in the water or something too, right? Because he almost drowned.
Almost drowned in 5 feet of water.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, just.
Do we know why he's so bad at swimming? Is it just?
I think he never learned.
I think it's just sort of it's one of his things. Brandon kind of likes to do that. Is he finds one or two quirks to give a character and then hones in on them.
Because I remembered that they were calling him a certain class of person or whatever like that, anyway, and they said they can't swim, but then he also had the problem, and so I was trying to figure out.
Lined up.
Are you talking about the elf?
Yes, the elf thing going on. Like, why? Anyway, I'm sure it plays out nicely, but I'm just wondering why the elves can't swim as well as.
Oh, they're fae.
Oh, they're fae. Oh, and they're running water. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, for me, because I actually don't remember learning how to swim, because my dad was a swim instructor and my grandparents had a pool. And so for me, the concept of not swimming, I never understood it. And I didn't understand why people would drown, because it seems so natural. And then I saw someone who didn't know how to swim. And it's this interesting thing, because the thing that was shocking to me was just how the fight or flight instinct just kicks in, and it just causes this panic.
Yeah. See,
and
I was the opposite. I was a late swimmer. I think I was like 9 or something before I actually I didn't really have a need. I didn't care to, and I might have been 7, but still later than a lot of kids.
Yeah, my children are taking swim lessons now, and they're a little bit later, so it's fun. Because they haven't been at pools or things very much. Like, anytime it's been kind of like a wading pool and stuff like that. So there hasn't been the kick for it. And I did give them lessons like way before, but then I never followed up. So they've forgotten everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was I don't know. I also just didn't imagine Cephawin's outfit to have colors the way it was described. I assumed it'd just be sort of, brown.
Well, she's just, she is a performer.
Yeah. So she's going to have a little, I mean, they did have dyes.
Yeah, no, but it's just sort of in my head. It's just, I was imagining just sort of very plain.
Everything felt very, very drab. Yeah.
Drab and plain and stuff. Yeah.
And so seeing, actual style to the clothing, it's like, oh, okay, that's different than I was imagining. But yeah, as soon as you point it out, it's like, oh yeah, of course,
it makes sense that she would.
There's going to be color to it, yeah.
But most of the colors in the background with the fire.
With the fire, yes.
All right, next one is her
This one is-
defying Odin.
This one is just epic.
Yes, I love this one.
Like this is her doing the She-Ra Princess of Power, you know.
But with
it's
the-
kind of,
But with like, I hate you, screw you. Tied in there
Yeah.
too, yeah.
Definite defiant teenager energy to this
oh,
pose.
it is awesome. The art, like again, Steve Argyle has this amazing talent with light. I mean, if you look at all three of all of these three pictures we've talked about, the way he's handled light and shadows in this is really impressive. Lit up by the bolt of lightning behind her.
Oh yeah.
Come to think of it, yeah, all three of these, there is a dramatic light source for all three of them. The
Mhm.
fire, the smoldering field,
Yeah.
And then the lightning
now-
bolt, yeah.
And now the lightning bolt. But it's
the
just
most dramatic.
well, and
Oh,
not
yeah.
just the dramatic light source, but in the picture with the fire, the light on the water, you're getting reflections there.
Mhm, yeah.
Yeah.
He's just done an impressive job with this. And the expression on Cephawin's face in this image, it communicates so much. Like
Oh yeah, you can tell she is
facial expressions are
mad.
like, especially at this scale, you know, because her face is a lot smaller. It's hard to get that much expression in that small of a space, but
Mhm.
he's done an incredible job. The motion with the sash blowing behind her, it's really cool.
Yeah. And the skirt and all the folds and
Mhm.
turns in on the skirt. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
So many folds and ripples, and
Hmm.
I can't even imagine.
I'm drawing like a triangle. See, this is what a dress looks like.
It's fine.
Here
Stick
is
figure.
a line
Yay.
that hints that there was a leg somewhere underneath this dress.
But it's like there are some. It reminds me of some of the most amazing statues I've seen that have this kind of detail in cloth, and it's just like, how?
Yeah.
But even like with drawing, it's just conveying those dimensions.
So much of it, from not that I can duplicate it very well myself, but so much of it is getting the shadow in the right spot and then
Mhm.
getting the highlight in the right spot, and just that little bit will make a huge difference. And he
Also-
did a really good job on it.
Also, I'm a little late, but we should probably mention to our listeners, you can get all of this art. It's all in the ebook, or you can get all of it on BrandonSanderson.com.
Yeah, so
If
it's
you
all
go-
there to look
if you
at.
go into the standalone books. So so that you can follow along and have any idea what we're talking about.
But yeah. All right. Then there's this one which I thought was labeled incorrectly because it says bad as bows, but I thought there was an additional S there.
Oh, yeah, bad at bows. He's like they didn't have
Yeah.
a bow.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh,
So, and I'm blanking on his name. What is his
it's
chieftain friend's name?
Oh, no.
Eilston?
Ilston.
Il-
Ilston. Yeah.
I always
Ilston.
want to put the wrong letter there. Yeah,
This
Hi,
is a
Mars.
freaking awesome picture.
he's so awesome.
you-
Oh my goodness.
For someone who doesn't like to use ranged weapon and is having to use someone else's arm to pull the trigger, he looks so
it's awesome.
natural with it.
Oh yeah. And and I mean even just the architecture behind him. Like I love all the details, the wattle and what is it? Something in
Well, and
wattle? All the different stuff that goes on with that. It screams medieval England to me,
Yeah.
and it's awesome.
I mean, it's got sort of a Globe Theater look to it.
hmm
You know, it's got the same sort of architecture, like not round, but
Yeah,
Like
daub and
all
wattle.
the-
That's
for
what the word is.
beam.
For the white and the beams. That's a daub and wattle is what that's called. So
Yeah,
anyway.
okay. So for those of you who literally have no clue what's being said, which is me, what?
So the buildings, you see how they have like the white and then they have the wood colored like framing and like
Yes.
all those different things. When you're building those kind of buildings, you have like wood that goes in between and then you put I can't remember which one's which, but it's called daub and wattle. And that's how they make a lot of those walls. And it's kind of sort of like mortar or I'm getting all the words wrong, but I took an interior design class and I knew about these things at one point and I remember parts of it, but it looks right for what I remember of the period. So it's cool.
Jordan,
And
it's
what-
like Yorbla.
Okay.
Warbler is the
then-
word, and it is
or
not
Warbler.
like that.
And then what was it that you called it, Bill?
The
What?
Globe
Like
Theater.
some theater?
Like the
Globe
Globe
Yeah, that's
Theater.
the
The Globe Theater-
Shakespeare's
It's
Shakespeare's Theater.
Okay.
and it uses a similar.
Yeah,
Construction method.
I'm
yeah.
a complete
Construction method.
Philistine, and so I need you guys to explain this to me as if I'm a small child or perhaps maybe a very intelligent dog.
You
It
put
looks
sticks in the wall, and then you
like-
put paste on it, and it makes a wall.
Okay.
It's great.
Yeah, I just like that this gun looks like it comes straight out of XCOM.
Oh yeah,
It really does.
It
But
like
also,
the
again-
contrast. Is so fun.
Also, again, the lighting. Like
Mhm.
it's and this is a backlit, so you've got these ominous shadows across
Mhm.
across his face, but this bright, again, fire, dramatic lighting in the
Oh,
background.
yeah. And like the smoke coming out from the gun, as well as like just in the atmosphere around it too.
I
It's
hadn't
just
even noticed that. You're right.
Yeah, there's that little stream of smoke coming out because he
It
just
does have
shot
a smoking
somebody.
gun.
And I love that there. It's a little morbid, but the dead guy's arm is a different color too. You can tell
It's ashen. It's
it's a dead guy's arm. So yeah, it's a different color than a live person's arm.
Well, I think they got killed by a shard blade is why that happened, right?
something like that. Yes.
Totally a
No.
shark blade.
This is just one of the most hardcore images in any of Brandon's books.
Yes.
Yeah, he's not someone I'd want to get on the bad side of. No, thank you.
Well, yeah, and his facial expression again is just great.
Yeah. He's hardcore. And I hadn't realized, but he has like a little ponytail going over his shoulder, kind of, too. Which makes
Oh, yeah.
sense.
Oh yeah.
Men often had longer hair.
Oh, I thought that was part of his cloak.
No, his
Yeah,
cloak
no,
is it's more green. His
you're
hair's
right.
a little more blonde.
Yep.
So
All right.
cool details.
And then Soggy Sacrifice.
I love this one. This is the one of John in the river while I'm blanking on her name.
Logna, isn't
Logna.
Lugna
it? Logna.
Um,
You
is
guys did
just
the
sort
audio,
of-
I didn't.
is sort of looking down at him with a smirk on her face because
Yeah.
he's in too shallow water to.
Her limbs
Try and
are
die.
far too thin for that pose.
Again, it's
Yeah.
very, very fey, puckish.
Like and just older person, because like a
Well-
lot of times people will kind of like shrivel up a little bit more like that. But yeah, I
Yeah,
wouldn't expect her
mummies.
to. I wouldn't expect her to move like that with that her muscles kind of shrunken as much as they are.
Mhm.
But
But it-
she's who she is, so she's gonna do it
Helps
anyway.
that she's a god.
Yeah, that
Again,
helps.
The lighting in this, like
hmm
every single piece of these, I'm just like, Steve,
It's
you're
gorgeous.
killing it.
Yeah, like this is like a sunrise or something, or is this sunset? I don't remember which one it is.
The coloring makes me think more of a sunrise, but
Yeah,
And I think that's
Anyway.
right, because didn't they fight at night and then this would have led into the day?
Yeah.
So I think
I think
that's
so.
correct.
so this is the next morning. Yeah,
But again, John's facial expression of just such utter, not
Irrit-
quite cartoonish, but almost displeasure.
just
He
irritation.
looks like his expression in this. It reminds me of like if Statler and Waldorf when they're young or something before their skin gets wrinkly.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a man of culture. I know the Muppets. I don't know Shakespeare, but I know the Muppets.
Have you seen the Muppets do Shakespeare?
Yeah, I have on occasion. I know.
No, I love this one. Again, just he somehow
fun.
actually brings you into the scene.
Mhm.
Like it's not quite photorealistic. There's definitely an air of
like style to it a little bit, and
stylization to it, yeah.
Mhm.
But
it's
it's
really
just
pretty.
again, the facial expressions are just they convey the scene so well.
And all the little ripples in the water with the lighting hitting it it looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
Well, that would
pretty.
be the last of the hardcore, like painting style
Mhm.
images.
Mhm.
We now move into the Frugal Wizard's Handbook.
Yes, the actual handbook by Cecil G. Bagsworth
It's the
III.
third.
Based
my
on
goodness.
Jordan Sanderson.
Oh man,
Oh, that's so good. So
I want to make that sword thing. That looks just.
I want you to
cool.
make that hat with the radar dish on it.
Oh, I
there's
could
so
do that. That's
much
doable.
going on in this picture. I mean, you've got sort of this, very gentleman adventurer looking guy with the handlebar, or not the handlebar, but just the big bushy.
Yeah, I don't know what you call that one, but
the Burnside, I think it's called.
He would look very at home in a pit helmet.
I almost think like Texas too. Like I think of that kind of mustache thing.
I just imagine him just being like, "I say, good fellow,"
Well,
and then you have the weird thing where he's got a sword, but the sword's also a ray gun.
Yes,
I know, it's great.
Like 1950s alien ray gun.
like what is it? Z-Rust?
Yeah, Z-Rust, retrofuturism. It's another term. I forget what it's called.
I haven't heard those terms. It always makes me think of like Nuka-Cola and what's that game called?
Yeah,
Fallout.
Fallout, yes.
Yeah. It's like retrofuturism, I think, is the art style. Z-Rust is more the fact that it's this weird thing where it was this vision of the future, but now it's seen as archaic because it was the past version of the future.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a very Buck Rogers style.
I love his pauldrons too. They're very intricate and different things too. That's his shoulder armor. Those are pauldrons.
Yeah. But also a cape at the same time.
Well, yeah, and they're part of a cloak.
They're over. There's like he's got his suit. He's got, which is like a 3-piece suit, and then he's got a cloak going on, and then he has the pauldrons over the top. Because I think
this entire outfit looks like it takes too much work to wear.
But it is fabulous. That's what it is.
It's not a 3-piece suit. It's a double-breasted suit, and then he's got an overcoat over that, and then his armor cloak.
Oh, is that what it is? Because I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Because I thought it was 3-piece. But yeah, I guess you're right. The collars are pretty. But I mean, it's pretty short-waisted for a suit. But I mean, we don't really have a good grasp on where his legs are. So.
Oh no, I think you're right. It's a double-breasted vest. You're right.
Yeah, because I mean, it doesn't go far enough down for that.
But those are some really big lapels. I can't place it.
It could go either way. It really depends on the rest of it, and we can't see the whole thing.
The real question is, do you think Jordan Sanderson has a suit like this?
Oh, you bet he'd probably acquire one if he felt like it, because I can see it being supported for sure.
Well, if you notice, look at his ascot. It's monogrammed. And it's monogrammed JS. That's not Cecil Bagsworth. That's Jordan Sanderson.
Oh.
If this year's Dragonsteel convention we don't see Jordan
Sanderson.
I
want it so bad.
I'm sure if he asked cosplayers, they would make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
You want us to make you something? Yes, happily.
I mean, who's to say he doesn't actually have this outfit already?
Oh, I know.
He is the model.
Exactly.
It turns out Brandon wrote an entire book just so his brother has an excuse to wear this outfit that he has.
Totally.
That's the inspiration. Yes. It's like the first one was his wife's reaction to The Princess Bride. This was just
his brother asking him to do him a solid.
Yes.
I made this outfit, but I never have an occasion to wear it. Do you realize how annoying it is to put a radar dish on a witch's hat? That's also a pit hat.
That's a sentence that's probably never been said in human history.
I aim to break ground.
All right, well, let's move on to the next.
All right, so these were the end of the paperback, which aren't showing up right on the screen, but we'll just be okay with that.
So these are the sketches that that John made that blew everyone's mind and thought that he was stealing their soul and.
Okay.
Because he was drawing all these pictures and blowing their minds.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have a sketch of Cephawin. We have like all these different scenes. At least that one is. I don't know about the rest of them.
Well, weren't these the pictures at the end of the book?
I don't remember.
Because we're seeing Cephawin in that last one. She's teaching them how to write.
So this is post book.
This
is epilogue. Yeah, and I mean, I think the top left one is probably him drawing himself drawing.
It's Eelston.
It's Eelston?
Eilson, yeah, because you see the ponytail.
That's right.
Because remember, he wanted to learn.
Oh, you're right.
That's right. I forgot about that.
I wouldn't have put that together.
You're right. Okay.
If you hadn't pointed out he has a ponytail.
That's right.
Yeah.
I do like the little doll on the bottom too is Woden. I'm pretty sure because he's got the lightning bolt.
The effigy.
The effigy.
No,
It's
but
all
like I
cockeyed.
that picture in the top right though, that's Cephalin, right?
That's got to be Cephalin, yeah.
I would assume so.
So the rest of them probably aren't either that, or maybe they're images that he has drawn after the fact. But I feel like that one of Cephalin is probably the image that he drew.
Yeah, and I mean, I wonder, the bottom right one, it looks like they have windmills going on. So I'm wondering if John is influencing that and being like, hey, we can get some things going there.
Mm-hmm.
Some technology.
Because they had heard of windmills, but
Mm.
or wait, no, they did. You have windmills, but they didn't have them there.
Oh, is that
They'd
what it was?
heard of them though. I think that's what it was.
I feel like there's a mention of them at some point.
Yeah,
I'd have to go back and listen to it again.
Anyway, I mean, I'm sure John would know how to do it, especially because he has the laptop that has all of the references and the information that way.
Exactly. No, the laptop of Logna.
No, it's in his place. She goes in to.
That's right. Uses it.
That's right. She
even though it burns her fingers to do so, which is kind of hardcore.
Yeah, she's tough. Right. But it's just
then
really pretty.
There was a few more of these images.
Mm-hmm. Again, we got a picture of Ailston. We got a picture of Logna. What was her false name?
Thok, wasn't it?
Yeah,
something like that.
So. Thaka?
Yeah, Thaka or Thok.
Thaka? I thought it was.
No, I think it was Thok.
Son of a gun. No,
names are tough.
Thaka is something else. I'm trying to remember what now.
It's like a bird something.
I don't know.
I don't remember what it's from, but I remember it's connected to like a bird. Is it from WoW? Anyway,
we're no idea.
We're off the.
Well, and then there's oh my goodness, I'm blanking on See, and I'm forgetting people's names.
It's the mob boss. Well, not the mob boss guy, but the guy who was working with the mob. Kind of.
No, I think the guy in the bottom right is the guy who did the
apple orchard guy.
Preserve, yeah.
Yeah, was it? Oh goodness, what is his name? We're doing great tonight. These names are totally gone. But he was awesome.
There's so many Brandon books at this point.
Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England.
It's the guy from the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the Zoroastrian.
Yeah, the Zoroastrian.
I remember all his plot points except
his name.
Just name.
Yeah, like it's funny. Like I remember Thok, I remember Cephalin, even though I want to put Sarowin or other things like that in there, but I get close. But then like his name and Elgin, like do not stick in my head.
Yazad, is that it? Yes, Yazad.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, that sounds right. Yazad. He was just so nice.
He's got kind of a Sala feel to him from Indiana Jones. Indy, my good friend. You know?
Yeah.
So we're gonna get John Davies to play the role.
Boisterous, just that boisterous, booming laugh and just jolly guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then another of Cephalin. We've got a few drawings of Cephalin.
Which I'm like, I think that's showing that she's really pretty. I like to draw her. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the end of those. And then we get into the FAQs.
So then we get into
these are the color
marketing,
doodles.
the marketing materials.
Yes.
And I love these. I love these so much. This little character that they've created for
feels like I would like to know if he was inspired by the 8-bit Black Mage from the original Final Fantasy.
Well, he's got a little bit of that. He's got a little bit of Kirby. He's got a little bit of the Starmie from Mario Galaxy.
Lumas.
That's what they are.
Okay. He's just cute.
Speaking of, I'm not going to give any specifics, but if you see the Mario movie, keep an eye out for a Luma. You'll notice.
Oh, I still haven't seen that.
One of my favorite parts of the whole movie. Anyway,
but there's like the spork instead of Arthur's sword. There's the spork.
There's the banana in denial of being a banana because you can't have sentient bananas in the
My life as not a banana.
Well, and then in the upper right one, you have a squid mount.
Yeah, that is a squid.
Yeah,
You're right.
That's a saddle.
And there's like a chipmunk squirrel thing with what is that creature's tail? Scorpion. Scorpion tail. That's scary.
Very normal.
Yeah.
But it's
just the fact that he's on a talk show called the Jabber Talk Show.
Yeah.
Is that a play on the Jabberwock, or
I think
it feels that way to me? Yeah.
I don't know.
It could be.
But
and I mean, then you got dinosaurs in the top left, which is always fun. We love the dinosaurs.
There's just so much whimsy in this.
Oh yeah, I hadn't realized this, but the bottom left picture, there's like the barbarian from the Doodles. With the little like skirt, whatever.
Well, did you read his license plate on his
Wizzy one
Roadster? Wizzy.
Yes, because he's a wizard. It's great.
Because he's a wizard.
Is that what? Maybe that's his name.
So maybe he's Wizzy.
We can call him Wizzy. It's fine.
That'd be a perfectly like normal like mascot name. Wizzy.
Wizzy of the Frugal Wizard.
Yes. Okay, let's see. Let's see what else Wizzy's doing here in FAQ number 2.
And that hat is magnificent.
Yeah. Okay.
So Amy, you need a hat.
Yeah, I was going to say you need to make that one.
That's so much fabric. I'll have to buy some more because I don't know that I have enough. But yeah, I need
everything that's going on in this upper left, where there's just wizards everywhere.
There's like some digging. There's one playing with a giant crab. There's a sand castle. There's like a sandworm that's getting walked. There's something with the.
There's one who's like scanning for treasure on the beach.
Yeah, he's like doing the metal detector thing.
Yeah.
There's one with the Sarlacc thing. Fun pit. Yeah, that's
And
scary.
the wizard is just so displeased with his little floaties.
That he can't even enjoy the beach.
It's
because there's too many wizards everywhere.
Yeah,
you got the prospector wizard. You got those teeth are nightmare fuel.
Ugh.
Well, speaking of nightmare fuel, all the versions of bananas.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
These are like something out of like a Far Side nightmare. Because let's see, we have Banana Thulu in the background.
Yeah, that's the least scary of them, which is weird to say.
Yeah. Well, just the whole bananas are people too.
Oh, I guess there's the guy in the suit. He's probably the least scary. Then Cthulhu, and then the rest are just no, thank you.
Yeah, the suited one. It's like
he's like a gentleman.
It's like the
Professor Layton.
What? Professor Layton, or what's the Peanut? Mr. Peanut.
Mr. Peanut.
Which is really horrifying when you think about it. He's
Monopoly. Actually, he looks like Uncle Pennybags.
Yes. But
is it Pennybags? It's from Monopoly. He's the Monopoly one.
Oh yeah, I could see that because the white mustache, especially.
Is it Uncle Pennybags? Not important.
Anyway, Monopoly guy.
But yeah, so that's nightmare fuel. That'll be haunting me in my nightmares.
The bottom left is so cute. There's the spork again. I didn't realize that, and there's a little dragon and a banana.
It's like an Excalibur spork.
I know, because that's from the other one where they were trying to pull it out, but it's Excalibur, and then he has a little like name tag chain necklace thing.
He's got a B Money Black Lotus, is what it is.
But it's a wizard with a Y.
Wizard.
Wizard.
And then the adorable little dragon reading a book in the bottom left.
Yep, that's cute.
And a royal banana that has apparently seen some things.
Yeah.
He looks disturbed.
He's haunted. But then you have the one that's all about, the languages.
Yes, I speak perfect English.
Oh,
I studied English at university. My vocabulary and elocution are nigh impeccable, baby.
It's just, that
Steve
was having so much fun with this. And then you have like this, fuzzy little monster with horns at the bottom left that says, "I burn with eternal hunger for the English
the cute
language."
one.
Well, and then there's a cow person
Yeah. What is up with
Like,
that?
and I don't mean like an anthropomorphic cow. I mean like it's a cow but with a human head. It's a
But it still
reverse
has the
minotaur.
horns. Yeah.
But long
It's a
horns
reverse
still.
minotaur.
Yeah, it is
kind
a
of
reverse minotaur.
Yeah. Creepy.
It's the body of a cow. It's a manotaur.
It's a weirtor.
Oh man. I like the little dragon and he's got the sunglasses and the finger guns and then the little lump on the floor.
and then
We have art,
there's
so they may not die of reality.
The Shakespearean banana quoting the Merchant of Venice.
Yeah.
If you prick us, do we not bleed? No, we don't, because we are anthropomorphic bananas.
I was promised no anthropomorphic bananas.
But they just keep showing up
everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Okay. The toilet spiders. Why?
Oh wait, is this the next one?
Yeah, so moving on to the next set of 3 pictures.
Oh no.
Toilet spiders.
They're everywhere. And there's like straws. Oh, there's straws inside one of the cocoons. In the middle.
Is that so they can suck the juices out?
Yeah.
They're saving it for later.
Well, but my favorite part is I remember where this image is. It's on the am I able to get a refund if I don't like my universe? We guarantee you'll love your universe, and this is the image that they display.
Yeah,
it's like the only thing that you'll be released from is your requirement to post about it on social media. Instead, you'll be required not to post about it on social media.
Because we don't want the bad press.
I like that we have metaphorical shackles and actual literal shackles.
Yeah.
Because
we've enslaved the banana people.
Which don't exist and will never exist.
Well, but I love the one on the left. Like he has a second unnecessary shackle on his head that isn't connected to anything. On the top.
Poor guy.
It's just
they're metaphorical shackles, Jordan.
He needs more.
Of course, metaphorical shackles are on your mind.
Well, and then the whole thing on the left of Justice is blind, but he's peeking underneath to
look at the giant.
Justice is blind, but it cheats a little.
It looks just a little, yeah.
Yeah, those toilet spiders, I don't understand.
No, I didn't.
What was he smoking at the time?
Yep.
All right, so that's we're done with the FAQs,
and now we're into the, like I said, D&D 3.5 style art.
When did we want to do our break for the recording?
That's probably a good time right now, actually. Good call.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll talk about that when we get back. And we're back. All right, so now we are moving into, like I mentioned, the D&D 3.5 style.
Yeah, these ones are labeled inserts.
Mm.
So these, I think, are more stuff in the but they're like not the. It's a different kind of just sort of let's show you how cool your worlds could be.
Yeah.
Rather than the
like in this universe where you're bigger than planets.
Mm-hmm. This is phenomenal cosmic powers.
Makes me think of Men in Black with like the little marbles.
Using worlds as marbles, exactly.
Yes.
Not much to say about it. It's just really good.
It's pretty, yeah.
Yeah.
What I love about it's just it reminds me of the art on like a dollar bill where it's just like lines.
Yeah.
But they're layered in such a way where it creates an image. There's a word for that. I don't know what.
Something hatch or something. I don't know. I'm not
Hatchwork.
I'm not an artist.
Yeah, because not cross hatch, because it's not crossing it, but
I don't know the term. I've heard it, I'm sure, but I don't remember what it is.
Yeah,
like it could almost be a wood engraving the way it's done.
See, and I was thinking it's got a very pencil art look to it.
Yeah, but it's good.
Yeah.
Let's see,
if you've ever played Final Fantasy IV, the character Fuso Ya it reminds me of.
Okay. The next one, then we have Delusions of Grandeur, a guy on what looks like a mecha ant train.
He's awesome.
And UFOs.
So it's not the cutesy what's his name? From Fallout. No, the Fallout boy. Look, or not Fallout boy, but
yeah,
Fallout. No, like what's his name?
Well, this
Cecil
is an
B.
arms
Bagsworth?
race by the look at
Cecil
it, though.
Bagsworth, right?
No, the guy from Fallout, the little marketing dude,
Oh goodness.
Oh,
the blonde
Pip-Boy.
guy, Pip-Boy.
Pip-Boy.
So it's not quite that style, but it's got that kind of feeling that the marketing stuff evokes.
Yeah, and like the double goggle thing going on, and then like the little tip
And the
on his
flying-
hat.
Yeah, and then you got flying saucers in the background. Like
He's
it
got a
doesn't look like
jetpack.
Pip-Boy, but it's got a.
It's totally
I mean-
a jetpack.
Yeah. Either
again,
that or a really weird bagpipe.
Again, it's just this fusion of science fiction and fantasy, but not just science fiction and fantasy, like 60s schlock science fiction and fantasy of the future is out there, and like
I just want to know why the ant thing has a snowplow on its face when it walks on
Because
legs.
it
no,
looks
that's
cool.
not that's a cattle catcher. It's like the
Mm,
front of a steam engine.
I can
Yeah.
see that, yeah. And now I really, really need to see somebody dress up as this. I really do. The cosplayer in me is like, I need to see it happen. Because it's
So if any of our listeners are coming to Dragonsteel this year,
do it.
You've got
I'll
your idea.
totally. Yeah.
Amy's making requests, nay, demands.
Yes.
I would love to see that.
Yeah. Like
And
a part of me
you-
is tempted
you
to try and
know-
make it, but I'm like, so much
You
work.
know that would be a popular costume. Just it's just like
Mhm.
a lot of people would be confused and just like, I'm this guy.
This guy.
You'd,
I'm
you'd
from
need
the
to carry
artwork.
around it. You'd need to carry around a copy of the book with you. It's like, who are you? I'm him.
This guy.
Don't you know me? I'm me. I'm a big deal.
I'm from the pamphlet. How could you not know
And then
that?
have like a little stuffed ant.
Wizzy?
train.
Or little ant with you? Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Or 3D printed. He'd probably be good 3D printed. But it's so much work.
Speaking of Buck Rogers meets He-Man, the next image. Mixed, like, this is like, okay, so we got,
You've got Castle Grayskull in the
yeah,
That's
background.
Grayskull, yeah.
Grayskull. We got, we have a helicopter we clearly stole from Cobra Commander.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the army stolen from Ming the Merciless.
But it's also got like the
The 60s like
quintuple, the
robots
mega
there.
exhaust pipes from Roadsters.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
from like Mad Max kind of going
Yeah,
on.
like a Mad Max sort of thing.
But no, like the soldiers, like look at them. That is totally from like Buck Rogers or Lost in Space.
Uh-huh.
Or,
Mhm. Yeah, and like the big robots behind him. Yeah, that's totally like the 60s or something.
Or the Sorceress's Island
I don't know that one.
from Tress.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I
We
was
were
trying,
saying no spoilers, Bill.
No, we were saying that there's less the case.
we
But
literally have a thing about no spoilers at the start. I think that's the opposite of what we say.
I thought we said we weren't having any. But anyway,
no, I said it's less of an issue, but that doesn't mean there's not going to be any.
it could happen.
And
I just-
honestly,
I
that's
ha- I
not
hadn't-
we
I
know
hadn't
about
noticed
them.
it
Like,
before, but there's a cannon in the skull's mouth.
I know, because you
like-
can't have too many cannons.
it's also
That's
one of
not
the
gonna
first
be a-
things you learn about the Sorceress's Island is that she has metal men.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember.
That'd be such a horrible cannon. It can only shoot in one direction. Don't attack from that direction.
It's a pretty big
Maybe
direction.
Maybe it's like a mega plasma cannon
Or
that just
railgun.
melts everything.
Who knows?
All I know is I'm not building that in Minecraft.
I mean, and the two cannons below it, they don't really have much room to maneuver either because they're right between the tower and the other part there at the
Yeah.
different
Maybe it shoots the bullet bills that can steer themselves.
Ah, the red bullet
Mm,
bills got it.
Okay,
So
they can move themselves. Yeah.
All right. Then we have the literal throne of skulls.
and a beard that goes on for days.
I know.
Why would you want that beard?
There's so much grooming.
Meanwhile,
So much.
the robots from behind look like they're straight out of Invader Zim.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, you're
little
not
bit, yeah.
wrong.
Then there's the lady robots that look just kind of creepy. That are all around him. Oh, and his
Like, think
pauldrons
of-
are skulls too. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All about
This
the
guy,
skulls.
he likes skulls.
He's got a theme.
And he's still got a wizard's hat, but the wizard hat has spikes coming out of it.
And it looks like almost an eye and like a metal piece on top, and just, my goodness.
And that's the thing, though, like you said, Amy, he's got a theme, and so
He's
he's
got a theme.
consistent. You know,
Spikes and
he
skulls.
understands. You know, he lets people know what to expect and then delivers on it.
Yep. Oh man.
And his thing is skulls and robot ladies. What's the big deal?
And spikes. It's fine. 3 things. He's good.
All right. Then we have the armor that I want, because it's armor that's also like Cinderella's carriage at the same time.
What?
So
The-
like it's
the
like
giant mech
carriage
thing.
itself- yeah, her mech. It's like she's like inside a carriage, like sort of like Cinderella going to the ball, but it's a mech suit. Like this is like a.
I don't see it as like a carriage. I just see it as a giant mech suit.
I think it's just the circular part that's making Jordan think of the carriage.
It's like because it's not like a mech. It's not like a mech suit like say Iron Man or even Ironmonger. It's like this is more of a vehicle that just so happens to have the mech pieces.
You could fit a drink holder in there for sure, and have like a little
yeah.
snack area. I mean, you totally could do that in there
I
for
never
space.
thought about my needs for a drink holder in my mech, but that's an excellent point.
There you go.
What about like a place for a little flower, like in the new Beatles?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that-
I'm sure
hey,
they could
that-
fit that in there.
Crucial.
Yeah, you
crucial.
can have that.
It's about the size of a new Beetle. And just so we know how old I am, I still refer to them as new Beetles.
Yeah, I know what you mean though. They're like the newer Beetle. Yeah, it's crazy.
Also, just the whole idea of fighting with this thing is just so. I mean, look, I'm a huge fan of Pacific Rim, so I understand the whole.
That's the thing. It's got a very Jaeger look to it.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like mini Jaeger.
Uh-huh.
Mini Jaeger. Budget Jaeger. Yeah, but that sword is huge. And
No, not budget. Frugal Wizard Jaeger.
Frugal
It's
Wizard,
not a
yes.
it's not a Jaeger. It's a light beer.
Oh.
Well, and just that sword on top of it, like
Oh
just,
yeah.
Oh,
That's
that
a big
sword is
sword.
amazing. It's a very Power Rangers Mechazord style
yes,
sword.
Yeah.
You got like Excalibur that's more of a club.
Excalibur, but it's only for Gundams.
Oh sheesh, yeah. It's funny, the equestrian in me is like, you wouldn't want people right underneath your horse as it's rearing. That's a very dangerous place for everyone involved. So just
As they're all running around the giant mech person holding the giant sword of
I
Damocles
know, I mean,
over
there's-
everyone's
yeah.
head.
That's why the people in front of her are yelling.
because they're like,
They're,
oh
they're,
no,
they're fleeing.
the horse is gonna land on me. Yep, it's a problem. It's very cool art, but I'm like, there's logistical problems. Yeah.
Yeah, they should definitely be giving those two a birth.
Yeah, they need space. That's a giant
right.
horse.
Honestly,
too.
it reminds me of, Jordan, is kind of like a shard plate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got to give them birth.
So
Yeah,
All
next one. I am digging this aesthetic. The sort of the priestly look, but with the tech goggles. Like,
mhm.
Oh, I know. Dang it! That's
It's-
another costume. Why?
It's a very machinist, like a tinkerer style.
yeah,
Oh, what is
Cleric.
that?
it's almost like
class
a
called?
tech priest from Warhammer.
It's
Yeah.
You know what? Or it reminds me of kind of a World of Warcraft gnome aesthetic, but on a human.
Yeah, and then, is that like a statue of her coming out of a rose?
I think so.
Artificer. That is
Artificer.
the D&D class.
That's the
right.
D&D. Yes.
Yes.
It's very much. Or what's her name in Riku in Final Fantasy X, but a little bit more closed.
That'd be so. Oh man, that's detailed. That's pretty though. I like her staff.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Dang it! I gotta turn off the cosplayer brain. It's not good.
What we're hearing is live coverage of Amy's time slipping.
No, there's too many cool pictures. Why, Steve Argyle? Why?
All right, we'll move into the doodles and the margins to
Okay,
help
good.
you escape.
Thank you.
No,
Although I have to-
because then she's going to make little plushies of all of these.
Yeah.
I'll
Well,
want to make
so
plushies. Will they happen?
The
I
only
don't
way to
know.
make these big enough for anyone to see, we're all getting covered up here.
Go for it.
Yeah. The one thing I couldn't find part 1 of Marginalia.
No, I think part 2 is the Marginalia.
Yeah. Well, they're just labeled different. Anyway, point is, there's whole storylines that are going on in the Martians.
Uh-huh.
And it's great.
And these
He
are
gets,
just
like,
doodles
shot
that are
in.
throughout the book.
He's running away. There's a giant monster. The barbarian goes and kills it and loses his clothes.
He used
Dio
his
started to
beard to give
touch
him a
her, and then
loincloth.
yeah.
Beard loincloth does not sound comfortable.
No,
No,
I
it
don't think
doesn't.
I'd recommend that.
It
Having
chafes
worn
a
a
little
wig.
bit.
Having worn a wig, I'd say no.
This art style reminds me of the game Magic Maze. It's a board game. It's got a very, very similar art style to this.
Look at that. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I love all the cute pictures. They're just adorable.
There's so many of them.
I love Wizzy taking time to paint, but it's just a simple heart.
I know. And he's like brushing his teeth in another one.
He's fishing for dragons and or more of pulling an old school Mission Impossible.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It was like Mission Impossible. He's asleep on the giant books.
Oh, it's just so much fun. Like, there's so much to go into on this, and then of course, yeah.
Is he playing instruments with a cephalopod?
He
there on the right.
That's an octopus, I think. But yes, he's totally playing he's playing like a lute, and it's playing a guitar, or is that a mandolin? Anyway, it's an older style.
I mean, do you realize how good you could be as an octopus playing the guitar?
I mean, as long as your suction cups didn't get too sticky or like catch on the wrong thing, because that could be difficult.
Man, just think of how good that would sound in an octopus's garden.
In the shade?
And yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then the storyline continues, unless this is not working. Please work. There we go.
The book. It makes you think of the Harry Potter book.
It's the Monster Book of Monsters.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the completely non-copyrighted creature book of creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he gives it a basket. A picnic basket.
I love it's a play off one of my favorite things I read a story of what a DM did where he was told someone asked what's the most evil thing you've ever done to your party, and there's 3 treasure chests in a room and a book that says how to spot a mimic in the front, and the book is the mimic.
I know. I was like, wait, it's gonna be the book, isn't it? Oh man, that's mean.
It's awesome is what it is. But
and then
he
the
feeds
dragon
him,
egg.
He's nice.
He's great. They're best friends.
Yeah,
and then there's the dragon egg. It's so cute.
Where you have kind of a Swedish chef style scene. I mean, there are, Vikings, so we've got Scandinavians coming already. Or Hordemen, rather.
Hordemen, yes.
And then we've got the Yosemite Sam / Hagar the Horrible crossover.
Yeah. It's like how
Yosemite
I don't know how
Hagar.
you would get around beard. His beard is so long. You trip on that thing. Oh.
Yosemite Yelf.
Oh, it's so good. I just love these little storylines.
It's adorable.
It's so creative.
Yeah, well, because then you move to the next part, and it's him hanging out with his barbarian.
He's still wearing the the beard is the loincloth.
Climbing mountains, he's carrying things. They get Excalibur from the water. And he refuses the sword and instead woos her.
And she pulls him in. She's like, "Oh, you're cute, yeah."
She's into it. So,
but just the thing is, Brandon probably didn't come up with any of this. This is
just Steve riffing.
Steve just coming up with stuff.
This is so good.
It's so cute.
Yeah, because then that they continue. They go to the dragon's dungeon, and there's a whole storyline with the dragon.
Yep, he's bringing back the egg.
Dragon eats him. Dragon finds the egg, spits
With
him
the
out.
hat, no less, to keep the egg nice and warm. Like resuscitates him to CPR.
Dragon joins the party, which is a very epic line.
And then it hatches into a Clefairy.
Which, I didn't expect that part. You're right. And then the final one, where the barbarian's like just holding the dragon's mouth open by sheer strength.
Makes him get along. He's like, no,
we're friends.
And there's the lady of the lake riding on the dragon with the little baby dragon.
Like, and that's the fun thing is like, I suspect that he wrote these pretty sequentially, and you can just tell, like, he sort of gets to a point. He's like, okay, what should they do now? Okay, now, and he just sort of expands it.
And the skeleton workers.
Yeah. It would really kind of suck to get, you get necromanced, and you're like, all right, who we conquering? And it's like, no, we're building a latrine.
We're conquering dance.
Bad hygiene.
I was really hoping for maybe something a little more hardcore. You're a necromancer.
Or at least,
like, what's more hardcore than civil engineering projects?
Yes. Basic sanitation.
No, this is just fun stuff. Seriously, Steve outdid himself.
These are awesome. Yeah, they're so cute.
They really are. They're just incredible.
No, and then that's the last one.
Oh,
and now we can return to actually being on screen.
Hi guys, we're back.
Hello.
But no, it's whimsical. It's just fun.
It really is.
And
like it makes sense because this was Brandon who said to Steve, "Here's the book. Make good art to go with it.
Have fun." Yeah.
Well, and it leans into the bigger thing of Brandon saying he has ideas of things he wants to do that the publishers all say, no, we can't do that. And Brandon is coming in here and being like,
I want
bullcreme. We can do this. Look.
Bullcreme.
I think we have an episode title.
Oh, I thought that would be Fishing for Dragons.
Oh, I like both.
Yeah.
Those are both good options. Anyway.
But honestly, you know what it feels like? It feels like Brandon gave Steve the assignment, and Steve went out and did a few things and came back and said, okay, I went a few different angles. Which one do you like? And Brandon looked at him and said, put them all in. This is amazing.
I like them all. Let's do all of them. Yes.
And again, that's something that Brandon has done that departs from traditional publishing. He has got 3 different art styles. So it doesn't have that same cohesiveness, but it's all just fun.
Art in the margins. Like, can you imagine most publishers, you say art in the margins, most publishers are going to be like, what are you smoking?
Little flowers maybe at most,
Yeah, he's gotten away with stuff like an Alcatraz and stuff, but those are on pretty sparing pages, and and on top of it, it's a younger demographic, so they're willing to bend the rules because it's not one of his big long books. And by Brandon standards, yes, this book is much shorter than a Stormlight book.
Oh yeah,
but even still, this is just so much more production value, and he's just like. Brandon, at his scale, he can afford to do stuff like this, but that's his whole point he's trying to make is
break away from some of these long-standing things that make no sense.
Yeah, you're not printing this with technology from Gutenberg. We live in a digital age. Let's get creative. Let's, dare I say, treat it like it's an art form. Gasp.
Well, and that's the thing is he's allowing like the book layout to be an art form. Like I said, there's the 3 different styles. It kind of reminds me of I think it's the first episode of Frasier, where like he's having a conversation with his dad, and he's like, nothing here goes to, matches. And he says it's a style called eclectic, where if you have various pieces of high quality, based on their quality, they will go together. And it's just like, that's kind of what's happened, is you've got all this amazing art in various styles, but because it's so good, it just works.
It's eclectic.
Yeah.
I knew you were waiting to say
I
that.
have to. I have to quote him. It's great.
So,
no, I love that this is like, because Brandon's posted a lot of interesting stuff lately about this type of thing. And I just love that he's really taking this all on and kind of challenging everyone else to question the way things are done.
mm-hmm.
Because there's so much cooler stuff that could be done. And I'm remembering his final speech at Dragonsteel last year, where he talked about how I am done writing to the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
And, this is definitely a very interesting time.
Yeah.
And I hope other authors start to play with it as much as he does.
Mm-hmm. Are put into situations where they're able to.
Yeah.
Because again, Brandon really is only able to do this right now because he's self-publishing and he's coloring outside the lines. But what he's trying to do is he's trying to make it so that, like, hey, look, this is possible.
Well, and it's also trailblazing. The first person to go down the path always has the hardest road to hoe, because the next person that goes down it can see the decisions that you made.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's going, like, he's doing literal trailblazing, and I hope more take up this challenge. Like, I think fantasy and sci-fi in particular can benefit from things like this, playing with the medium somewhat, and you can just do things that you can't do otherwise. Like, heck, in this book, even at the very end of the book, it was still having things from the Frugal Wizard's Guide.
Yeah.
At the very end of the book. Mm-hmm. And most places, they're not willing to keep playing with the bit that long. But Brandon is sitting there trying to wring every last entertainment drop out of this concept.
Well, and I feel like that makes sense, because I've read other things where they kind of drop the bit partway through and you just feel a little bit cheated. Yeah. Because it feels like, hey, you promised that this was going to be an ongoing thing, and it's only there for like the first 20%, and then I'm just gone. Like, but it doesn't feel like he's trying to pad it or he's trying to overuse it. It's just, this is how it fits. This is the structure, and he's making the structure work.
I think since there's the 3 different styles, and we knew that in the story John was doing doodles and things like that, that it fits that he has his like live sketches where it's the realistic art, and then there's also the art that is the actual scenes of the book, and then there's the little doodles in the margins, which I could see John doodling those as he's traveling around.
Because he talks about doing that, because
so it's like,
that's
there we go.
The only paper he has.
Well,
it's on the margins,
because basically what he's done is he's taken this character that the company put forward, and he's like, okay, and he's put him into fun situations,
different little situations, and it's fun. Yeah.
Well, so I mean, it's his slacker persona.
Yeah.
His mind is always somewhere else. No, this is never going to go down as like Brandon's most amazing work,
but it's fun.
It's not, but there's something to be said. Like, I think I've talked about this before, that watching the cartoon show Gargoyles, everyone's favorite character is the villain Xanatos. And part of the reason he's everyone's favorite is, like, even though he's quote unquote a bad guy, he is having the time of his life and loves his job. And we like watching people enjoy their job. And you can, and throughout this book, you see that Steve Argyle was enjoying his job, and that just makes me happy. There's a certain simple pleasure to stuff like that.
Well, and then that there was encouragement from Brandon after he saw it. He's like, I love this.
Do it some more. Yeah, do more.
So, and where else are you going to get to do something like this? Take strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah. Because again, Brandon has mentioned a few times, he said, I gave this to Steve Argyle and said, make something great. And Steve, he understood the assignment. Like he just, he dove in.
And we love it. It's so
Indeed.
cute.
All right. Well, thanks so much to our listeners for sticking with us. We do love hearing from you, so please keep sending in questions. You can ask us about the Cosmere. You can drop us your ideas for topics that you'd like us to discuss during the show. And while you're at it, we'd love to hear your feedback about how you think we're doing, as well as any interesting theories you might have about what's going on in the Cosmere or in any of the non-Cosmere books. We just want to hear what you're thinking about, what you're theorizing about, what you're enjoying about the Cosmere. You can send all questions and suggestions in a brief, concise email to cosmerestudies@gmail.com, and hopefully we could read that as part of the show. We do have a P.O. Box at the Sandersonian Institute of Cosmere Studies, P.O. Box 970063, Orem, Utah 84097. We do have our own personal projects that we're working on outside the show. So, Amy, why don't you start us off? Tell us what you got going on.
So my Facebook is Coincidence Cosplay and Props. My Twitter is @CoincidenceCosp because my name is too long. My Instagram is @Coincidence_Cosplay, and my TikTok is @CoincidenceCosplay, all one giant word. And my website is www.coincidencecosplay.com, and it is still very sad, yes. So I just need to make the cover page better, and then it'll all look so much nicer. I just have to figure that out. But I'm trying to work on my backlog of things, so I have a handful of like 3D prints that I need to work on. And
which just doubled in size tonight.
They're not 3D prints, thankfully, but my other cool ideas, yes. Like now I'm sitting there going, dang it, I'm going to end up making stuff that's Cytoverse related. I'm going to have stuff from book 1 and book 2 and I'm like, oh man, I'm making myself a lot of work, but it's wonderful. But I'm trying to do better at doing TikToks. I've been putting stuff up pretty regularly because I did like a big session where I just like recorded 20 videos and then like I'm putting them out here and there. So if you want to see silly Jawa and Imperial Officer and Twi'lek and Nazgul things, it'll be fun. And I'm gonna do actually a photo shoot with my daughter and me as her as a Hobbit and me as a Nazgul on this week. And so I will hopefully have cool pictures from that soon. So that'll be fun.
Nice.
Yep.
Jordan, how about you?
You can find me at youtube.com/splicestream, where I am doing finally a project that I have been thinking about for years, where training Amiibo in Smash Brothers, it's very similar to training Pokemon. So I'm making Amiibo gym leaders with Pokemon typings, and it is stupid but fun at the same time. And so we're still kind of in the process of figuring out what the rules exactly will be, because it's not quite like Pokemon. You can't do it exactly the same, but we're working that out. And then we're going to start figuring out who our gym leaders are going to be. I'm going to be the ice type gym leader. But we already have our dark, our flying, bug. It's great. It's good stuff.
Nice.
So if you're interested in, I'm mostly really proud of my thumbnail images that are going to come out of this. My thumbnail game on this is strong. I'm not like, normally I try and be a little humble about it, but not here. No, I'm really proud of these thumbnails.
Okay.
So you should at least click on the thumbnails. You're going to like it. I guarantee it.
And I've got another podcast. My friend Dylan and I chat about board games. We call the show The Innkeeper's Table, and we come out with new episodes every Friday morning. Our most recent episode was one that we did on culling your collection, on clearing out and making room for more games.
Painful.
Which it really is. And then our next episode, hopefully, we haven't gotten a chance to play it as much as we'd like just yet, but we're hoping that it's going to be our Spiel des Jahres spotlight for the 1991 Game of the Year winner. This one's harder to find because it's called Drunter und Drüber because it's German. An American version of it did come out called Wacky Wacky West, but I'm having trouble finding a copy. So hopefully we'll be able to actually get it to the table. And
I feel like it lost something in translation.
Yeah.
I think it was a reskin when it came out in the US. So But yeah, for those of you who want to support the Sandersonian Institute of Cosmere Studies, but you can't become a patron, we'd love it if you'd let your friends know about the show. Spread the word, help us build our audience. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, to like and subscribe over on youtube.com/Cosmere Studies. And if you want to toss us a good review wherever you listen to us, we would absolutely love that. So please, if you get a chance, drop us a good review. Also, if you head over to store.streamelements.com/Cosmere Studies, you can buy SICS merchandise. Final thoughts.
I like that there's so many easy costumes to do, and actually for the TikTok video and for our social media posts, I took a picture with a Mass Effect gun and a book and my wizard hat and a cloak.
Nice.
No, I didn't have the cloak on for that. For the TikTok video I did. So I tried to recreate the pose. So yeah, if you want to go see it, go look at our socials.
Very, very nice.
Silly.
So. My final thought is this was such a fun little thing to have in the book. I hope he finds more excuses to do something like this again. What I would love, I think there might be some room to do stuff like that with Shallan, maybe. I would love to see like Shallan artwork just in margins.
Yeah, and I guess if
Shallan doodles rather than her
artwork. Sorry, yeah, like I could almost see if they did the Mistborn Era 2. What was
with Wayne?
Wayne and Allomancer Jack and stuff like that. If they could do doodles with that, that'd be fun.
Well, you know what? I actually
call them Shaloodles.
Yes. No, but like the Wayne stuff would be perfect. Shallan would work as well. Just like maybe have as Shallan's having to deal with more serious stuff, we get some of Shallan's snark and these little like cartoony things that she just does on the side. Just like I could totally see her, especially like in books 2 and 3, something like with Kaladin. I'm Kaladin, like just sort of making fun of him a little bit behind his back. It'd be perfectly a character and fun.
Oh, I would love that. That would be great fun. All right, or not even Shallan, Lift.
Lift could do that.
I would love to see Lift doodles.
Oh, the Dalinar bum. Yep.
Oh, man.
She would totally draw that.
It'd be a stick figure except his butt.
Yeah, just tight butt. Yeah.
And on that note, in addition to the live episodes of the show that stream on twitch.tv/Innkeeper's Table every 2 weeks on Monday nights at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, listeners can find our videos on YouTube or audio versions of the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and just about any other service that carries podcasts by searching for Cosmere Studies. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook under the profile at Cosmere Studies. For our next episode, we're going to try focusing in on one of Hoyt's stories. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the story of the Wandersail. So join us for the live discussion in 2 weeks on Monday, May 8th, 2023 at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern at www.twitch.tv/Innkeeper's Table. Until then, on behalf of Amy, Jordan, and myself, thanks for listening, and remember, there's always another secret.